Hello everyone, and welcome to Bob's Garden. I'm Bob. We're here today in the Northwest Hills of Connecticut in the first week in May, and we're coming along with our perennial border, and I want to talk about a few things about characteristics of the perennial border. Perennials are plants that come back every season. We also have plants that just last one season, those are called annuals. And we also have plants that will go for a couple years called biennials. But all these are perennials. And when we plan a perennial border, we have to plan on different blooming times. There's not any single perennial which will bloom from early spring all the way to fall. I wish it were so, but it's just not. So we need to plan different types of perennials for getting overlapping blooms throughout the season. And we can beef this up with, if we want more color, with the annuals. So we've already begun our cleanup. We've already edged this bed. We're getting ready for mulch. We rake it out, and we've dug in some compost in between these. You can't put the compost right in the middle here, so we've added some compost in the middle, in between the plants. So we have an example of types of different foliage. We have different types of color in the flowers, and we plan this when we're laying out the perennial border. We have a design concept called punctuation. Punctuation means that we repeat themes of color throughout the garden. So when I plan this for certain heights of the flowers and the colors. For an example, this is Achillea. It's called Achillea Moonshine, and it gets white flowers, starting white, and it turns to a pale yellow. Behind it, we have something called a Stakes Humolo. It's related to lamb's ear, and you can see we've taken out the last season's growth in here and throughout here. And this gets very tall flowers that are red. So when they both come up, you have these firework explosions of yellow and red. And the one thing about the humolo is that the leaves tend to get messy. So I have these taller plants because we don't need to look at the foliage. We have the taller flowers from the Achillea, and it's a bigger plant, and it has a tendency to hide the foliage of the humolo. So we get this fireworks display. It lasts quite a long time, and we keep on producing the flowers throughout the season. We'll show you how that's done later. This is part of our series on what to do in the garden at different times. So we're going to see this. You've seen this in the spring walkthrough. If you look at that video, you'll see what this looked like earlier on. And then we're going to show you what this looks like during the summer, and we'll go all the way into fall. So we have these repeating themes. This comes up in about mid-May to early June, with the same with the flowers on the humolo. However, over here we have sedum autumn joy. You see this lovely foliage here. These, as the name suggests, do not come up and flower until the fall, but will have the foliage. So we have this green foliage that matches this. So while we're waiting for the sedum autumn joy to come up, we'll have the flowers here, but we still have the color to appreciate throughout the border. So these are some of the things that we need to think about when we're planning these perennial borders. So I want to show you this. We've already cleaned up this humolo right here. We've left this last year's flowers up. It gives us some extra winter protection. And so now to get this cleaned up, all we need to do is to cut these stems off. We're not cutting the leaves, just the stems. And some of these will just pull right out. You see, I don't even have to cut them. Some of them you have to cut, some of them you can pull right out. So we got that cleaned up, and this will flower later, the end of May, early June. And this is in preparation for us to be able to put down the mulch. So you've been watching Bob's Garden. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Please comment, subscribe, and like my videos. And remember, be curious, not judgmental.